So this is Monday Momentum. It's how to start your week just shining like the sun, with momentum, with energy, with delight. And so welcome to a new month. Happy July to y'all. We're talking about this month is about your work, your mission. And some of it is you have a job, right? But it's also about what is your mission in life. Some of us get this lovely advantage of our mission is our work. That's me. Coaching is my mission. This is what I eat, live, and breathe. I embody that. I get to do that. Some of us, we have a job that provides for our family, and on the side, we have a mission that we're on. So it may be combined for you, it may be kind of separated, but all of us have a need to contribute into the world. And so this is where our focus is this month. So I'm going to talk about some of that today, but I want you to remember, Laura is going to join us next week. You don't want to miss. Like, anyone who misses, shoot, I wish I wouldn't have missed. Because she sees things very intuitively that others might not see. And so for those of you who weren't there, she is very straight to the point, but she will ask your permission before she dives in very straight to the point. She and I have a lot in common, I would say, but she can be bolder than me. I'm trying to want to be soft so I don't jolt anybody. She's like, no, I'll just ask permission and then I'll jolt you, right? So come prepared just to have some breakthrough, to see things change out of what you're carrying. Because life is emotion. Emotion is energy. And so when you change your emotion around something, it changes your energy around something. And when you change the energy you're projecting into the world, things start coming to you differently. You become a magnet and you attract the resources that you need. And so we're going to be talking about how we're showing up in our mission and in our work next week with Laura. It's going to be really fun. I have a nice, guinea pig, also known as Dan, who's going to be a great example for us. But I also want you to come open-hearted because we're going to do breakout rooms that start to work on the individual as well. So super excited about this. But for today, I said, well, since we're adjusting things, I'm going to skip what I was going to do today and I'm going to do what I was going to do next week, because the statement that I want to make today is stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel ready. I know how many of us sit back because of all the stories. There's stories. Like, I don't want to upset somebody. I don't want to be mean, or I don't want to be overwhelmed, or maybe it could be too much, because that's fear of success, right? Is I could be too much. So think of it this way. You're standing at the edge of a cold lake. Your toes are just curled over the dock. And you keep telling yourself you'll jump when you feel ready. And you've been standing there for 4 years. Here's the thing about readiness. It's a myth that we've made up to make ourselves feel better about staying safe. We're looking to meet that need for certainty, to know that I'm walking away from pain and going towards pleasure. I'm safe, I'm secure. But here's the fact is, nobody feels ready. You're not going to feel ready. That's the whole fun of the adventure, guys, is you think, gosh, am I going to be able to hit the peak of this trail? I'm not so sure. And then when you do, you're like, yes, I made it. You're not going to feel ready. I've been coaching high achievers who run companies, and I promise you they didn't feel ready either. They just moved anyways, and readiness caught up with them somewhere down the trail. It just along. You see, most people have that formula backwards. I think if I take enough training, if I take enough of these programs, if I have enough certifications, if I fill in this gap, or what about if I got to fix this part of me first, and that part of me, and this part of me, and you get in this perpetual I can't quite start point. And there's an identity trap hiding in there. When I become the kind of person who lives their mission, I'll start. Listen to me, you become that person by starting. Nothing has developed me more as a person than trying to start and lead this company. Do I feel ready? Honestly, I started Arrow's Edge coaching when my thyroid was massively in a low state. It was really bad. I felt like I was walking through mud every day. I had gained a whole bunch of weight, and I was just getting done with COVID. I had COVID long haulers. I was sick, but I felt inspired, like it was time to contribute. And so I started Arrow's Edge coaching. Was I ready? I was a coach, and I had a lot of experience in coaching before that. But was I ready to start and run a business? Did I feel ready? No. Every small action is a vote for a new identity. Let me see, what were we saying? What year was that? So I started Arrow's Edge coaching in 2020. Not because everybody was starting coaching business, because I felt a mandate from God to do so. Period. That's my why. People say, tell me your story. I was in a hot, stinking mess, but I felt like there was a mandate to begin to serve people in a way they needed to be served. So, that was a good question. I was like, yes. So you can become the person you need to become by starting. Every little action, that's why I talk about just do one action every day towards your mission. And I got to take care of the kids, but I need to do a couple more certifications, or maybe it's just, I feel like I'm too busy, or maybe and the stories just start, right? I even had a client, let's call her the queen of preparation. Another certification, another coach, another round of getting ready. And one day I asked her, I said, what would you do this week if you were already the person you're preparing to become? She got quiet, and it changed everything, because you stopped being someone preparing for a mission and became someone living one. Look, that dock that you're standing on, it never gets warmer and it never gets less cold. At some point, you just have to jump in. So this week, I just want to urge you to take one imperfect action towards your life's work. Small, imperfect, maybe even ugly, but done. Send the message, make an offer, have the conversation, post that thing. Get out on TikTok. That's one person in this room needs to be getting out. I'm thinking of all of you guys in one little way. What you could just take one step to do a little bit more and a little bit different. Then come tell us all what you did, especially if it was messy. Because if it's messy, it's imperfect action is better than no action at all. And so I want to take some time and send y'all into breakout rooms, but I also want to bring you back in enough to really start talking about this. So I'm going to stick some. Now that everybody's here, again, remind you, come next week because Laura will be here. Sorry, guys. All right. Don't want to miss that. So here's questions. What have you been getting ready to do? And how long have you been getting ready? What would you do this week if you were already the person that you're preparing to become? And what is the smallest, ugliest action you could take in the next 48 hours towards your mission? And when has taken messy action actually created confidence you couldn't think your way into? So I post those in the chat. It's something to think about. I think I should have titled this, For Crying Out Loud, Just Get Started. All right, so I'm going to send you into breakout rooms. I'm going to bring you back early. I want you to be prepared to share. That's what community does. I know. I saw that, Candace. I saw that. That wasn't even a micro expression. That was a macro expression. You're like, so I'm going to prepare you ahead of time that this group is together for a reason. And we're knitted together and we're here to cheer each other on. And so I'd like to just place in you by faith some courage that you guys will just step forward and be able to share. We don't have Bobby to rely on right now. She's not here today, so she won't be like, pick me first, right? So one of y'all is going to have to go first. So I'm telling you this ahead of time. I'm going to stare at your face until you're willing to share, because remember, this vulnerability aspect is so important. And so this is an invitation to allow yourself to be vulnerable in a very safe place. Very safe. And wouldn't it feel good to really be seen and heard, known and understood today? Or even cheered on, or even helped to move forward, or helped out of being stuck. So guys, let's do this. All right, I'm going to send you into breakout rooms. Eliza, remember, Lacey is there to just listen, but she can be in there to listen. I think everybody else is good to go. I'm glad you all made it today. I love seeing your faces.